Welcome back everybody. Right, I need to make some of these today, one more of these. It's going to be an end plate for an exhaust system. I want to make it fairly accurate. So it fits in my lathe chuck and it just about swings, and it's thick enough to, you know, work on in the lathe. It's about 1.5 mil, 60 something thou for in proper money. So I've done this one hole here. I've flipped it around in the chuck. I've just centered it up with my live center on the punch dot that I put when I was doing the layout, and I've made a mark based on the DRO and the previous one that I cut at 1.820 inches, which is the diameter hole that I need. And I've just swiveled my boring bar back a bit so it's got a pointy end and some clearance, and just going to work my way nibbling through it and then bore it to the appropriate size. I don't have a trepanning tool, but doing 4 like this is probably quicker than grinding one. As long as you wiggle it around to give it some clearance, it'll work its way through that with no problem. So that's what we'll do. Few little notes of caution when you're working like this. I've got a jaw hanging out here which doesn't clear the saddle, clears the bed but not the saddle, so I've got to give myself a bit of working clearance there using the top slide, so that when I go through I don't run the saddle into the jaw, which is all very embarrassing. This lathe came out of a sort of a training institution. You can see it's been done a few times, which is a shame, but the whole thing still cuts accurately enough for what I want. Okay, that's what we're right. I'm running a little bit slow here because I'm probably out of balance. A bit slow for cutting stainless, but it's kind of working. It's a tiny bit squeaky. It'll be fine. A little oil. Let's just make sure we got clearance there. No problem. Let's go. Easy, just bore it to finish size and we're there. Okay, that's what we've made. Yeah, a couple of these. I've just tacked in these pipes. What these are going to be is like the two ends of a 4x1 exhaust can. It's a video really just because your first thought might not be to use the lathe for cutting these bits. If you want them fairly accurate, you don't have nice annular hole cutters, you know, drilling them is going to be a pain. You ain't going to want to put a drill bit that thick through very thin stainless. If you're careful and they're not too thin, you might be able to just hold them in a 4-jaw truck and trepan through with a sharp tool, and you'll get a good degree of accuracy, which is what I wanted. The distance between them is quite critical, and the parallelness is quite critical. In fact, if I'm lucky, yeah, look at that, they do as well. Stubs fit inside each other, which is nice actually. That's not too bad laid out with calipers, starting to punch the holes. Just set up the chuck against the live center with the punch mark. This just dipped into the punch mark, and that's probably within 3/5 thou, which is okay. No one's going to complain about that with this type of thing. It's going to distort more when I weld it, and that's going to be the next challenge, is going to be welding around these fillets nice and neatly without creating distortion, and we'll have a look at that, ways we can mitigate that next time. Thanks for watching. Right, just a quickie before I go. I used pipe expanders to get this nice, this is off a fifth. Let's go on the proper bench. I used pipe expanders to get this nice fit in there, because pipes are going to go in there when it's finished. And you'll see on the market a lot of this type. Right, don't buy them, they're not fit for purpose. The only thing I can use these for is holding bits of like copper sheet inside pipes when you weld them for backing. You can't stretch anything with these. I mean, look at the design of them. This angle here of the wedge that pulls in to expand the debris, it must be 45 degrees, and the thread is cheap and nasty. You just ain't going to do anything with them. If you get your pipe red hot, it might expand, and then you melt your O-rings. Now, I've had this one, on the other hand, for years. I can't even remember the make of it, but it's American made, USA. I'm sure you can find them online. This is more like it. This I can recommend. Come in a couple of sizes. It comes with some bigger sort of jaws, if you like, for bigger sizes of pipe. But this is one of the few little hand tools you can get for pipe expanding that does actually work. We'll just have a look at it. Right, so simples. We've got it in a vise. You can use it free with it even says you can put an impact wrench on it. It's got a taper roller in the top there, so much less friction, more efficiency there. A much longer taper on it, on the wedge that expands the jaws. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it does take a little bit of effort. But there you go, you can see she's working. The old pipe's expanding slowly. There's a little gotcha with this. You want to just it doesn't expand the pipe perfectly round. You want to just back off when you've done. Rotate the pipe 45 degrees on the jaws and just give it another little tweak, and you'll have a really nice expanded end on your pipe that you can slip over the pipe of the same diameter, which is what we're doing here. There we go. We stretched these ones earlier, and that works nicely. So this little thing, get it out of the vise. This little thing is a great investment for a kind of home shop but don't want to spend a fortune on hydraulic equipment. It just works really well. Well impressed with that. I'll try and find the receipt and the make of it and post it in the comments. If anybody knows, just post it, because they are really good. Good night.